April Fool's Day. How did it start and why is it April 1st? The inceptions of the Trick Darlings #1 occasion are dim. Indeed, it's conceivable that the whole idea of April Fool's Day is, itself, a trick. Or then again right. The source of April Fool's Day is discussed. Yet its set of experiences covers hundreds of years of tricks. From family fun times, like tricks to play on your folks, to tricks that turned out badly, to gags at the public's cost. On the evening of April 1, 1957, a great many British families checked out Watch Panorama, still one of the UK's top recent developments, communicates, to observe film of a cheerful Swiss family gathering their valued spaghetti trees, unbeknownst to numerous watchers. The 4-minute news section, which showed strands of cooked pasta hanging from the trees in a family grape plantation, which seems like an incredible April Fool's Day trick for youngsters to us, was a perplexing deception formulated by an independent cameraman and created for the then regal amount of £100. Indeed, even with swelling, none of the best April Fool's tricks to pull this year will burn up all available resources. Yet, fail to remember the many irate letters and harsh paper title texts that followed. The show's staff were extremely satisfied with themselves, having effectively raised the April Fool's Day punking to a public level. Your tricking aspirations may be somewhat more unassuming and somewhat more neighborhood. Yet what brought about those desire in any case? Also, for what reason do we all in all attempt to double-cross April 1st? We should investigate the source of April Fool's Day. What is the inception of April Fool's Day? Doubtlessly that April Fool's Day is quite possibly the most broadly perceived non-strict occasions in the Western world. Kids trick guardians, colleagues trick collaborators, and indeed, public media sources and drive-through eateries actually trick their perusers. However, why? What is the birthplace of April Fool's Day? And how could it turn into a global marvel? The absolutely genuine, not testing your sanity answer to the source of April Fool's Day is, nobody truly knows. April Fool's Day is evidently an old enough practice that the most punctual recorded notices, similar to the accompanying extract from a 1708 letter to Britain's Apollo magazine, pose a similar inquiry. We do. Whence continues the custom of making April Fools? Celebrate the long-running custom of jokes with these April Fool's Day office tricks that essentially anybody can pull off. Could this Roman custom be only a fortuitous event? One likely archetype to the root of April Fool's Day is the Roman custom of Hilaria, a spring celebration held around March 25th out of appreciation for the primary day of the year longer than the evening. We call this the vernal equinox, which commonly falls on March 20th. Merriments included games, parades, and disguises, during which camouflaged average people could impersonate honorability to naughty closures. They ought to have stayed with these April Fool's jokes to make everybody chuckle. It's difficult to say whether this old party's likenesses to current April Fool's Day are genuine or occurrence, as the previously recorded notices of the occasion didn't show up until a few hundred years after the fact. When is April Fool's Day? For many years, April Fool's Day has been a yearly occurring on the 1st of April. In 1561, a Flemish artist kept in touch with some diverting section about an aristocrat who sends his worker to and fro on preposterous tasks in anticipation of a wedding feast. The sonnet's title generally means, abstain on task day, which is the 1st of April. The primary notice of April Fool's Day in Britain comes in 1686 when biographer John Aubrey portrayed April 1st as a fool's sacred day. Here are some humorous content tricks to pull on your best nitwits, I mean companions. Unmistakably the propensity for sending Springtime rubes on a waste of time was uncontrolled in Europe by the last part of the 1600s. On April Fool's Day, 1698, such countless saps were fooled into schlepping to the Tower of London to watch the washing of the lions, a service that doesn't exist, that the April 2nd version of a nearby paper needed to expose the trick, and openly mock the schmoes who got bulldozed. From that point, it's a beautiful straight line between lion washing and spaghetti cultivating. And keeping in mind that we may not have the foggiest idea about the inception of April Fool's Day, it's unmistakable the tricking occasion addresses the internal jerk in such an extensive amount humankind, and is accordingly setting down deep roots right in your schedules for April 1st, so you'll never need to ask, when is April Fool's, until the end of time, for motivation on the very best jokes. Here are probably the best April Fool's tricks altogether of history. Issues with this explanation. There are at any rate two troubles with this clarification. The first is that it doesn't completely represent the spread of April Fool's Day to other European nations. The Gregorian schedule was not embraced by England until 1752, for instance, however April Fool's Day was at that point grounded there by that point. The second is that we have no direct verifiable proof for this clarification, just guess, and that guess seems to have been made all the more as of late. Constantine and Kugel. Another clarification of the sources of April Fool's Day was given by Joseph Boscan, a teacher of history at Boston University. He clarified that the training started during the rule of Constantine, when a gathering of court jokesters and dolts told the Roman head that they could make a superior showing of running the domain. Constantine, interested, permitted a jokester named Kugel to be ruler for one day. Kugel passed an order calling for idiocy on that day, and the specially turned into a yearly occasion. As it were, clarified Professor Boscan, it was an intense day. In those occasions fools were truly shrewd men. It was the job of entertainers to place things in context with humor. This clarification was brought to the public's consideration in an Associated Press article printed by numerous papers in 1983. There was just one catch: Boscan made the entire thing up. It took a long time for the app to understand that they'd been survivors of an April Fool's joke themselves. Spring fever. It is important that various societies have had long periods of stupidity around the beginning of April, plus or 2 or 3 weeks. The Romans had a celebration named Hilaria on March 25th, cheering in the restoration of Attis. The Hindu schedule has Holi, and the Jewish schedule has Purim. Maybe there is something in particular about the season, with its chance from winter to spring, that fits happy festivals. Observances around the world. April Fool's Day is noticed all through the Western world. Practices remember sending somebody for a waste of time, searching for things that don't exist, playing tricks, and attempting to get individuals to accept ludicrous things. The French call April 1st Poisson d'avril, or April fish. French kids now and then tape an image of a fish on the rear of their classmates, crying Poisson d'avril when the trick is found. Thank you for watching. Bye now.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Life is Often if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.